Hello, welcome back to Dungeon World, where our intrepid heroes have just met a god, discovered a mysterious horn called the Voice of the Mock King, and an alarm has been set off. Since Binklebart is the one who detected that there was some magical alarm, perhaps because he is fairly familiar with accidentally setting off magical alarms in his time.
So familiar.
Yeah. What do you do in a scenario like this?
So I'm just gonna quickly go right. Okay, so you should probably grab that, and then we'll head off. That's brilliant. And I start walking towards the door.
So you do not mention the alarm to your companions. You just go, let's chop.
Yeah.
Okay, Embertongue, Heart.
I am standing in the presence of my god. So
yes, you are standing in the presence of your god, who the other two have not acknowledged, but
rude.
like possibly they can't see. Although like when you touched the god's hand, like you feel, I don't know, it seems somewhat intuitive to you that the others can't see the god. Like your god has chosen to reveal themselves to you and to only you. Yes. So you hear Binklebart, but you don't really hear him. Hart, what do you do? Embertongue is kind of still.
If Embertongue's enraptured, kind of similar to Binklebart's kind of sudden kind of, right, that's it, carry on then. I'm just going to go and kind of close the book on Embertongue and kind of go, Binklebart, one for the bag, yes?
Yeah. Putting that in the bag.
Very good.
Now, what I think I'm going to do at this stage is I'm going to actually walk over, grab the horn, and summon my unseen servant. Give the unseen servant the horn and the bag.
Okay, very good.
And shuffle Embertongue towards the door and then knock on the door twice.
Okay, Embertongue, you're being shuffled. What do you do?
I will allow myself to be shuffled.
Okay, yeah. You are still a bit dazed, I can sense.
A little bit.
The door, like you hear like a vague knocking, and then like a slightly worried Mr. Heaving goes, "Oh dear, it appears something teleported into the room. The alarms have gone off. That wasn't you, was it?"
No, we didn't see anything teleporting. Are you sure it wasn't a false alarm? They do happen.
It could well be a false alarm.
So my unseen servant is standing just behind the doorway, and I'm like just getting round the other side, still facing Mr. Heaving.
I should probably have a look just to be sure. Otherwise, I could get in a lot of trouble. He's like sort of trying to walk past a little bit.
Yeah. In which case, I'm just going to say, well, there might have been something suspicious over in that corner, pointing away from where my unseen servant is.
Okay.
I look Mr. Heaving in the eye and say, I have looked into the eyes of God, and they have brought forth light into the world such as you cannot imagine.
Yeah, they saw a lovely artifact in there. It's very shiny and glittery. Yeah.
You must bring light to the world, Mr. Heaving.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. And he like pats you on the head. Oh, you're a lovely little creature. Bring light to the world. Oh, what a noble goal. I'm assuming, are you using your move?
I am indeed using my move.
What is the move?
When I introduce a new idea to an NPC, roll plus charisma, which is a +2.
Okay.
Drop my dice everywhere. That's not written, but it's implicit.
But it's definitely implicit in the.
So that's 13.
Oh wow. Okay. What does that mean?
So on a 10 plus, they believe the idea to be their own and take to it with fervor.
Oh, this seems somewhat more important than investigating a silly little teleport alarm malfunction. I'm so sorry, Binkle. I have more important things to do, but we should catch up later. And
We should. I agree.
So Mr. Heaving goes up to like an ensconced torch and heads into the library room. What do you guys do?
My unseen servant is gonna just go behind Mr. Heaving and just give me back the stuff. I'm just getting right. We should probably go then.
Yes, quite. Any interesting or any interesting expressways out?
Yes, a couple actually. Yes.
Okay.
I'm just gonna wave to Mr. Heaving as I go, just like running quite quickly down the corridor.
Bye bye, and you can see that he's like dipping the torch onto the ground. Okay. Yeah. So you can feel an intensification of the alarm system. Whereabouts is this secret portal or passageway? What is the route that you use to evade the clattering of noises, which now actually sound like maybe like there's a fire alarm being raised or something?
Yeah. Yep, okay.
It's changed in like tempo.
So this one is actually less of a portal and more of just several walls that just aren't there anymore. So like they're an illusion, but you can just go straight through the wall.
Okay, so instead of like they didn't replaster they didn't rebuild these walls after like some wizard exploded.
No. They
were just like illusory walls.
You say
no one will ever.
Wizards. Yeah. So but it was more of a just covering it up while we wait for the contractors. But it's wizard contractors, so time.
They have a little sign on them saying, "Please do not lean on this wall."
Yes, they do. Yeah.
It's like wet paint, but like no actual wall here.
Yeah. Yeah, it would just be illusion. Please don't lean.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so you go through this like invisible wall, and you find
and it
your
leads
way
to a large slide-esque thing.
Did you set this up, Binklebart? From your time here, was this you?
It's not an actual slide. It's just the top of a spiral staircase they have filled in happens to be smooth. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this is what you sign up for when you go to wizard school. Is pranks on pranks on pranks.
Yeah.
So you're sliding down this. Is there a safe place to like crash at the bottom, or?
Technically, yeah, sure.
Okay. Everyone except for Binklebart, roll Defy Danger, please. I'm noticing a trend. Binklebart goes down extremely dangerous things. He does not warn his friends.
Is the modifier based on how you try and defy it?
How are you avoiding the danger of the unsafe landing? You've built up quite a lot of speed, I think, going down this, or you could, yeah. Is it quick thinking? Is it charming the stairs? Probably it can't be charming the stairs. I don't think that works.
It can't. It doesn't matter, but I'm just going to try and like withstand it the same way as I did on the roof.
Okay, brace
which gives
the
me a
knees.
total of 3 because I rolled double ones.
Okay. All right. I think you can just take D4 damage. You brace the knees, and it just wasn't a good idea in this scenario. Hart, how did you do?
I think at some point I'll have realized my impending fate, and we'll start transitioning from a slide into kind of the kind of roll you do when you're falling downstairs, which Hart would have picked up from kind of some thespionic training back in the day.
Okay, like
so
a stage fall or a stage roll or something.
Can use that same technique to kind of cushion some of the danger. My result was a 7, which I think just gets me into not terrible territory.
Yeah, I think actually you can, like, it's not the end of the world. It's only if it goes really badly that you can suffer any sort of consequences. Maybe you're a bit slower as a result of this. John brings up an important question, which I was going to answer. Yes, you have had a chance to rest and heal. The time skip between the last one is like, effectively you survived, and so you're fine. And yeah, you can have prepared new spells, Binklebart, if you so wish, in the same sort of ways. And yeah, I'm just noticing in the chat, somebody saying charming the stairs might work at a wizard uni, and I totally agree. It's the one place where maybe actually there's a chance that charming the stairs might actually, these are nice stairs.
Sentient stairs, yeah.
These stairs are good people. So you make it to the bottom
they
of the
were
stairs.
good people.
Yeah.
You are noticing that, like, there are occasional people passing you, but they don't seem that interested in you. They seem, again, to be mentioning fire or like precious documents, something like that. And you hear like a muffled explosion. But I think you managed to clear the Wizard Academy, having effectively set up like a pretty good distraction with an acolyte of the light. How is it just permanent that he is obsessed with the light, or does it wear off?
So if I'd rolled 7 to 9, it says their passion fades after a day or two. But the 10 plus, it just says exactly what I read.
Okay.
So
I guess it's
sorry, go on.
I think it depends on whether it resonates with Mr. Heaving's internal character, whether it sticks. I think it would by default last like longer than several days, like might last a month or something, or a week or whatever. Or it might be like, this is now his new calling forever. Because you can't just totally warp a person, but you can if they had like a certain glimmer of them that was like, oh yeah, maybe spreading the light is a good idea in general, but they just hadn't ever really considered it properly. So we'll leave that ambiguous at the moment. We'll see if we ever get to see Mr. Heaving. Okay, and I'm going to sort of push forward again in time, having escaped the Wizarding Academy. Where next? Like, for reference, Embertongue, you now, every time you fall asleep, it's actually a welcome because you see your god. Although they are somewhat intimidating, they're often asleep, but sometimes they talk to you, they give you advice, they tell you things. They congratulate you on having obtained one part of the prophecy that is to fully integrate you into their being, is to fully make you part of the light. And they like basically tell you must find the basin. The vessel, actually they don't refer to it as a basin, they refer to it as the unbounded vessel. What in general is the party's approach? Like, do you go after the unbounded vessel? Do you do anything else beforehand? What is your...
I think the answer to this question lies in the pub. Specifically, I'm going to start doing some kind of fairly serious bardic research, swapping tales and stories, and trying to start piecing together more information in the folk canon about this.
Okay.
This bowl with a hole.
It's bowl with a hole, yeah. Sure. So, like you're just talking to people? Are you being secretive about this? Are you?
No, I think at some stage there's going to be a fair or a fete, especially if in summer, if the days are getting longer, and that's kind of almost a bardic convention, or if not a bardic convention, then parasitically is a place where bards will gather and exchange tales and stories and kind of
so with other
techniques
bards.
and
Yes.
repair instruments and stuff like this, kind of almost in little back tents or back alleys. So
you're at is it the summer festival? Is this the thing that
I feel like if I think that's definitely my angle, and if I'll convince the other two that obviously we might not want to go down official academic channels to get the next part of Embertongue's quest. It might be wise to go and unwind, and consult the lore.
Okay. Yeah, you can make your way to this bardic festival, the Festival of Sun and Stars that celebrates the coming of the harvest. And
I think we will have also put some significant geographic distance between ourselves and the Wizarding Academy. Just
yeah, the Wizarding Academy
as a precaution
was attacked by like forces unknown. They're or maybe sabotaged. They're not sure what happened, but there is a lot of hubbub around the Wizarding Academy, and like there were some chimeric abominations released from there, and all sorts of spells just firing off at random. But yeah, they remember that there was a time when the Wizarding Academy had more things that happened like this. It was known as Bart's Age, but they believe that couldn't possibly have happened again. After all, Bart was banished. But yeah, so at this, you meet with. Are these bards known to you, or are they from far afield? You are muted.
I'm not going to meet kind of Day of the Bard. I'm going to a zone where I know there will be a collection. So I think some people will recognize me.
Yes.
At least from my previous life before I became a bit of a hermit and servant of the chosen Embertongue. But also I will kind of we'll also be just kind of chatting with people who I know are bards, but don't know if they're any good.
Actually, I'm aware that as a bard, you have the move A Port in the Storm if you want to use it, which is like.
Oh, I think that.
Yeah, when you return to a civilized settlement you visited before. I mean, I don't know. I'd say like a festival kind of could count as a.
Yeah. I think maybe this is a festival I frequented a few times as a rakish youth and more seriously in my middling years. And
when were you last there? I guess is the question.
I think it would have been 3 summers ago. And maybe actually, do you know what? This the first time I was here was probably a week or so after I'd started hanging out with Embertongue, and
Okay.
it will have been kind of a back then proportioning Embertongue to be kind of the dancing lizard sidekick, not realizing the things that would have occurred afterwards.
Okay, so what has changed since then? I think that to your tastes, the festival has become a bit corporate, which isn't to say it's like tremendously so, but you can see the way the wind is blowing with this thing. Like, people have realized that you can make money off of these festivals, and you can like set up shops, and there's less of the like community spirit maybe. But the nice thing is that you notice that there are still some of the old timers that you recognize, and people trying to like against this kind of like new kind of just making money thing. They're kind of trying to push the more ritualistic sides to stick around, and it is perhaps to these people that you head when you're looking for wisdom, whereas before perhaps it was more, it was more like a meeting of peers, whereas now it's perhaps a meeting of peers and the people who want to sell to those people. It's a tragic tale, perhaps the most tragic of this entire story. So I guess are you spouting lore? Are you discerning realities? Are you talking to people?
I'm definitely talking to people, so I'll definitely and I'll have these two in tow as well. So we'll kind of go to the festival. We'll kind of do the big tents, and then I'll be like, okay, now we're going to go and get the real stuff. And we'll go kind of behind kind of the main row of tents to find out where there's just a couple of campfire circles and the music is a little bit more raw and a little bit more raucous, and people don't talk when they're singing. And I'll kind of find a nice kind of socially appropriate moment to interject myself and start kind of I don't know just basically I think this is more discern realities and kind of have a chat with someone about the bowl with the hole or the unbound vessel.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That seems to make sense. I'm just double checking that there aren't any like bardic things like speaking frankly, but I think that's more to do with like convincing people of stuff.
Yeah. I definitely think discern realities is probably the better bet than spout lore here, because spout lore is coming from me and discern realities is coming from them.
Yep.
Oh, 10 on the dice, plus wisdom.
Yeah. But I mean, a 10 counts as a 10 plus, and therefore is a spectacular success.
11.
Okay, so what question is it? Questions that you get to ask me?
Yeah, let me see.
Meanwhile, what are Embertongue and Binklebart doing? Are you hanging around? Are you going to participate in the festivities? Are you being patronized annoyingly in the case of Embertongue as being like just the sidekick of Hart?
I think those days are definitely over.
Not by Hart, by the people who used to know Embertongue as being the you've got your little fire lizard. Cute. Make us a little candle.
So where Hart is going to be like using conversation to get access to the greater knowledge of the bardic community, Binklebart is going to do what has worked for him so far and just have more pixie dust to see if he can have another prophecy. Okay. It probably doesn't work, but he's going to try nonetheless.
You can attempt to force a prophecy, but yes, Hart. What questions have you got for me?
Sorry, the question I am going for is, what should I be on the lookout for relating to the bowl with the hole?
What should I be on the lookout for? I think you intuit that because the visions seem to be referring to like the cold a lot, you just have this hunch that that like seeking out bards who have been to the colder parts of the world is the way, like maybe that's the area to ask about, to see if, and also you kind of think about you think that it would be very prudent indeed to like ask about events that could have been caused by an artifact that concentrates power for a short time. So any large events happening in this, like in the cold areas of the world, if there's any stories that have, especially recent stories that have emerged about that, that would probably be the most prudent thing. That would be the thing to be on the lookout for, I guess. Any stories from the north. I'm assuming north is north the cold place in this world.
I think the world is definitely spherical, so both north and south. Let's say we're closer to the south, though. So south would be the cold.
The south is the cold. Okay,
we're in the southern hemisphere.
Yeah, the very icy south. Okay, so Binkle, and you can ask another question if you like, or you can save it for after Binklebart.
I'll pass my I'll pass over and see what else what happens on this pixie bender.
Meanwhile, a child is trying to coax Ember Tongue to like make some fire for them. How
I
do you
will
react?
gladly do so.
Okay, very good. What kind of fire do you want to create for the
I have a
child?
junior disciple.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fantastic. I will give this child fire and I will show fire and I will talk. Not as in I will set the child on fire, because I understand that small humans are not fireproof.
Okay. The
but I
child is
will-
amazed by this display of fire.
and I will proletize about the light and the fire and the burning salamander with eyes like white coals.
Oh, the burning salamander! Where can I see the burning salamander? It's like you. You're a burning salamander.
I am, aren't I?
Yeah. I'm gonna follow. I'll follow you to the ends of the earth. No, the parent like yanks the child away and it's like, what's going on? The child's like, no, mummy, I must go with the burning salamander.
Your child is sworn to the light now.
Okay, right. Yes, well, they are also sworn to being home for dinner.
Mm.
And yeah, they take the child away, who now seems to be staring at all the lights more intensely than they were before. Binklebart, what were you? You were trying to do some pixie dust, some more pixie dust.
Yeah.
Have you? Do your supplies still? Do you still have supplies? Do you still have?
It depends how much I was able to get last time.
Okay, let's say you do have supplies, and you can try to do pixie dust. Roll something plus wisdom.
Okay. My
To
wisdom
force
is
the
not
prophecy.
good, but okay. So that's a 3 total.
A 3 total.
So 4 on the dice, -1.
Oh,
Okay.
dear.
You have a very conventional drug trip on pixie dust. So from your perspective, it's kind of a failure, but it's kind of an enjoyable failure, right? You really like it. Ember Tongue and Heart. So if you were around Binklebart in any capacity when this happened, you lose Binklebart really quickly, partly because he like goes invisible immediately and then just starts like wanders off and starts pulling pranks on people and starts just being weird around everyone. The fair starts to like have people go, why is that thing setting fire to that thing? Why is not necessarily setting fire to, but like why? There's all sorts of pranks being pulled. It turns out that when Ember Tongue is high on pixie dust, he becomes even more prank oriented than his base state.
Yeah. You guys rapidly realize how destructive Binklebart was in the university, considering he was basically high the entire time. So a good 70 years of this.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess Hart, you have one more question to ask. Would you like to ask the question?
Yes, I think with the insight of my previous
Yeah, you can take +1 forward. Oh, when
yeah,
acting
so
on answers. Yes.
Yeah. So I think I will move myself. I'll find the Southerners. The Southerners tend to stick together. They have a wonderful kind of singing tradition of kind of 3-part, very sparse harmony. They tell most of their tales through these songs, and I'll kind of listen in and maybe slip some coin to make a request for anything, any songs about recent events that are explosive or have a great deal of power about them.
Okay. If you slip somebody some coin, that is absolutely very effective. one of them, like there are a few of them tell you some things. They don't seem super relevant, but one of them tells you that they don't have a song for it yet, but they're working on one. It's because there's like down south recently there have been very unconfirmed, on the very border, there's been like unconfirmed reports of maybe the dead walking again. And this is a bad portent. But as far as you're aware, necromancy is not like I mean, I guess actually the wizard would probably be the one to ask, but it's not really it's not like a practiced magic school. And like youth, as far as you're aware, like death is a one-way trip. So somebody bringing back people from the dead would be perhaps something like that. And this person is like, I just don't know how to rhyme. Like, I don't know how to, get it kind of, cheer. It's not a very cheery topic. And like nothing rhymes with corpses. But it's compelling, it's compelling. Bringing back the dead, bringing back the one you love. Oh, maybe I can make it something romantic. What do you think? What do you reckon? Like something.
Blorpses,
yes. Oh, you're a joker, Hart. It's always nice. I don't know if this person knew you. This person knew you. And yeah, they were working on a new song. They also said that they passed some people on the road who were like maybe adventurers looking for something, possibly to deal with this imminent threat. Most people from that area were like villagers fleeing or like leaving the area, as opposed to going towards it. It's not a nice thing. So as he concludes, and he's like, blorpses, his like trousers are pulled down by an invisible like tiny creature.
Yeah, you also immediately hear a loud sneeze as this happens, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, so my non-diegetic sigh is now a diegetic sigh, because I know exactly what's going on.
What do you do?
I think I will try and collect Embertongue from whatever proto-child cult has been established around them. And
so when you meet Embertongue, there are now like 4 other like children sitting eagerly listening to whatever tales Embertongue is spreading among the youth. And like
Embertongue, we will have business in the south, it seems. There are rumors of the dead walking and of great power being exchanged.
Then we burn them?
Say so.
Burn the corpses!
And all the children go, burn the corpses! And they scatter, presumably towards the nearest cemetery or morgue. Or, we shall see. Okay, so you guys, time passes. You are heading along the road. Where are you when the fog starts to roll in? Like, what's the terrain like?
I think we haven't made it to the town that I know is next on the road, so we're kind of like a little bit risky. Not in a risky area, but definitely it's got a bit dark, and we were supposed to be in the inn an hour ago.
Yeah,
kind of vibe going on.
While it is still light, the fog is making it like much harder to see. And the path wasn't particularly well lit. Well marked. It wasn't like you were on the road, but then you had to take a sub road, and then you had to go somewhere else. And yeah, it's quite hard to navigate. What do you guys do?
I'm going to stop as it gets slightly darker from the fog, and light a torch slightly preemptively.
Okay. When you light a torch, you see a faint like light that sort of lights up in the distance, maybe 200 yards away. It's kind of bluish, just a glowing dot. And you hear maybe a slight sort of sigh or a chime sound, something like that. Binklebot, what do you do?
I too have created some light, but that's just because I've like cast light on the top of my staff or something.
Okay.
And I was trying to follow the path. Can I see if I would recognize what kind of thing would be hiding in fog in a blue light?
Yeah, absolutely. Is this consulting your accumulated knowledge about something?
Yes, yeah, I'm going to try and spout lore.
So, roll plus intelligence.
That's an 8.
Okay. So I can give you something interesting. That is a will-o'-the-wisp. It is a fey creature that is not straightforwardly hostile, but they are well known to be tricksy.
Okay.
And how do you know about the will-o'-the-wisps?
Presumably because I have been led astray more than once by them.
Yes, they do lead to interesting things.
Yeah, whatever like urban version of a will-o'-the-wisp is that leads you down dark alleys at night. That kind of thing. So yeah, I'm going to suggest that that's what it probably is, and we should try and stick to the path if possible.
Do
But I'll
Embertongue
let
and
you-
Heart, are you convinced by this?
But it's a creature of the light.
We're not too far away from the settlement. Maybe it's... I mean, is the light darting around, or is it pretty static?
It's sort of hovering.
Okay. So maybe it's...
It's almost like beckoning you towards it. It like maybe it's like a gesture. Like it feels like it's indicating to
Hart is kind of like trying to discern it, and in so doing has got himself completely turned around, and whatever kind of semblances of the path he thought he was following, he has now lost it. So while he is not certain it's wise to follow it, he certainly no longer knows exactly where the path is.
Okay. Embertongue and Binklebart, you have lost track of Heart. What do you do?
Okay. I'm gonna call out and see if I can find my way back to Heart, but then I'm going to suggest that they probably went towards the will-o'-the-wisp, so we should also go towards the will-o'-the-wisp.
Okay. Heart, you hear Binklebart call out, Heart, where are you? We've lost you. It seems to come from the direction of the will-o'-the-wisp. Binklebart has clearly followed it.
Oh, what an absolute idiot. What an in-character wizard doesn't even know what a will-o'-the-wisp is. Binklebart, don't go towards the light, you fool! And I will kind of move towards the light to catch up with him.
Oh, the light is moving slowly away from you, unfortunately. Embertongue, the will-o'-the-wisp has, like, Heart, you've heard saying, you fool, it's a will-o'-the-wisp, and the voice is going towards the light. What do you do?
I will head towards the light, and as I do, I will be like waving my torch in like sort of a greeting and an effort to communicate with this small bundle of light. Not
it
quite
seems very
fiery,
responsive,
not quite fiery semaphore, but
but
like
thereabouts.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems to respond really well to fiery semaphore. So Binklebart, Embertongue, are you following Embertongue? Are you trying to stay together? Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I'll try and stay with Embertongue where possible.
you can, so long as you're heading towards the Will-o'-the-Wisp, you can. It's a difficult one. It's a tricksy beast. Okay. Hart, you were the first to make it to the clearing of the fog. The Will-o'-the-Wisp, you can now see a bit more clearly. It perhaps has like two sort of glowing eyes. It's shaped like a skull, but it's got a vague sort of outline, and like the way it bobs, it sort of like it's like a person standing there, but you just can't see the rest of the body, and it kind of looks kind of back and forth at you. What do you do?
I don't suppose there's an inn round here.
It like turns its head even more. At this point, Embertongue and Binklebart, you arrive, and you can see, and like the fog is like steadily clearing in a sort of like circle around where the Will-o'-the-Wisp is, and the fog rolls back, and you can see that there is in this kind of, you realize now that the ground underfoot is quite like soggy. It's like kind of swamp like, maybe kind of little bit, and the like as the fog moves backwards, you can see there is a basin hovering just directly underneath the Will-o'-the-Wisp, and above the basin, maybe 5 feet above it, there is a corpse hanging by its feet, with its intestines are like stretching up into the fog. Yeah, what do you do?
Burn the corpses?
Yeah, sure. And Binklebart's going to take a couple of steps back. Yeah.
And
Okay.
Tongue is going to try and set the body on fire.
Okay. How do you do that? What do you do?
I mean, I'm still holding the torch.
Yeah.
So I mean, the basic thing to do is step forward and see if the Will-o'-the-Wisp tries to stop me in any way.
As you step forward into the water, not into the water, into the like sort of wet ground, the wetter sort of swampier area, the Will-o'-the-Wisp just hovers and then goes up into the sky, like it's being pulled by a rope, and you hear like a sort of thump, thump, thump coming from your right. But yeah, are you casting some spell, or what? How are you setting it on fire?
I will firebend, so I'll use my Zuko style to roll plus wisdom, which is
You muted yourself.
I only got 6, so that is doesn't do anything, I think.
Okay. So you try and like cast the fire, but the choking cold of the fog kind of dampens the torch more than you thought it would, and you can't quite get in touch with it. The thumping continues, and it's getting louder. You see also that the corpse is vaguely moving, like maybe wriggling a little bit. Hart, what do you do?
There must be some old story about. There's so many stories about Will o' the Wisps. There must be something relevant here that I can pick out of the library of things I know about these kind of situations.
Absolutely. Go for the roll. Meanwhile,
Six.
Holly, Binklebart, think about what you're up to.
That's 7 on wisdom. Int.
Yeah.
Oh, it's flat. Just a 7.
Okay. I can tell you something interesting. That's not a corpse. That is a morgue, spelt MORHG. They are sort of vengeful, rageful creatures that sort of pretend to be corpses and use their innards as sort of ropes to drag people in. Binklebart, you hear a thudding to your right, and you obviously see this like slightly twitching corpse. What do you do?
I'm gonna think back to the prophecy that I had, and I'm gonna get out the horn.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna try and blow the horn.
Okay. Yeah. So you roll plus wisdom. There's a lot of wisdom rolls in this game.
That's another 8.
Okay. You blow the horn, and immediately everyone else like feels this like a sense of like joy filling them, like wow, everything's amazing, like a sense of laughter. The morgue, which was twitching a little bit, suddenly starts like writhing incredibly, and then as the sound intensifies, it like gathers around the creature, and the creature just explodes, is totally annihilated by the thing. But you rolled an 8. The thumping is getting louder and faster. Like it sounded like it was a walking pace, and now it's a running pace. Ember Tongue, I guess you were trying to set fire to this thing. What do you do? You can hear it was going dum dum, and now it's going dum 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 dum.
The corpse part of it is now exploded, isn't it?
Yeah, the morgue was just exploded as soon as the horn was blown.
I want to try and navigate around the swamp to grab the basin.
Okay.
Like, is the basin is it floating in a thing you can grab, or is it like set in something?
It was just floating in the air, like just above the thing. Interestingly, like seemingly as you approach it, you can see that it's full of like black liquid, and even though it has a hole in the bottom, the black liquid is not seeping out. Maybe it's got a plug. Who knows? But yeah, you could reach it if that was your intent.
Yes.
Okay. You run up to the basin, and out of the fog, a massive creature, it's like a giant, but it's got 2 heads. You guys know them as Aotin. and it intercepts you and like with its club smacks you away, like tries to stop you reaching the basin. Roll d8.
Two.
Okay, take 2 damage. That was remarkably friendly. As it hits you, the left head says, "Oi, no touching."
But I want it.
Look. By the way, you were sent flying by this hit. You just landed well. It hit is like, what? I didn't hear you.
I said I want it.
Well,
the little pat of me running back up.
The master said you're not supposed to have it, so you're not going to have it. And then the other head says, "Hey, Edric, that's not exactly what he said. He said, keep it for who it's meant for." And then the other one goes, "Frederick, what have I told you about interrupting me and undermining me while in front of adventurers?" And the other goes, "I'm sorry, Edric. It comes from a place of love." Heart, what do you do?
I've just rearranged my favorite characters list. I'm afraid Ember Tongue, you're off the top spot. Self-counseling Gorgon is now my number one friend. What do I do? I think I will go. This is. Must apologize for our rude interruption, but obviously all is not as it seems in this glade, and we are on very important business, specifically relating to preventing the end of the world. Who did you say your master was?
The one on the left is I don't actually know his name. He's called what's his name? And the other one goes, "Oh yeah, he's called Cautel. His name is Cautel. He's not a very nice chap, but he gives you a sheep every once in a while. It's very satisfying, Oh, have you had a good sheep recently?"
So I was hoping to use charming and open here.
Okay, go for it.
I have been pretty forthcoming. You've given me one answer for free, which I'm going to take, but I am going to have a go at. Oh no! This is just I don't even have to roll for this. This just triggers, so that can be trigger, or do I get another go?
Absolutely, that can be the trigger. You've spoken frankly. What do you want to? I guess I did give you who did you serve, but you can ask another one.
I think the next question would be, so you you're a fan of the sheep then. What would you say is the thing you most desire?
Oh, I could do with maybe a cow. Oh, I haven't had a cow in a long time. God. Or even another sheep, the classics, they're classics. And then like Frederick is like, Edric, variety is the spice of life. And he's like, yeah, I know. Maybe
so much.
Maybe we could put some spices on it. That would be delicious. And then, yeah, they go back and forth on how to best prep a sheep or a cow. That is what they desire most. Food is the broad answer. Binklebart, what do you do?
You don't happen to know the level 2 spell summon cow by any chance?
Unfortunately, I don't. However, my prestidigitation can create minor illusions that are no bigger than myself.
Okay.
Would you say Binklebart is about the size of a small sheep?
I leave that question up to you. Do you believe Binklebart is roughly the size of a small sheep?
sheep aren't that big in general. I
Yeah.
think this is
Maybe it's a
bit
big
of-
sheep even. What size of sheep is Binklebart the same size as?
He's quite scrawny, so I'm thinking a small sheep.
A small or a scrawny sheep?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you need to cast it, right?
I do.
So let's roll for casting your
yeah.
spell.
I'm going to attempt to create a minor illusion of a sheep that has like wandered into the clearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Is this going well?
Guys.
That's 2 1s on the dice, which totals to 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I offer you a bargain? I might offer you a bargain. Well, actually, no. You have to choose one. Oh no, that's a 7 to 9. I can offer you a bargain. I'm going to offer you the bargain of you can have that work, but there will be consequences.
Look, who am I to turn down a bargain? You know, like
Love a nice consequences, me.
yeah.
Yep. Okay. A sheep wanders across, and the giant takes 2 strides over to it, and then tries to pick it up and eat it. At that point, is it still physical?
Oh no! This is like literally just an image.
Oh, they tried to trick us.
While they are distracted with the fake sheep, can I?
Yeah.
Saturday morning cartoons tier to operations here, and I love it.
Yeah. You can make a beeline for it. Actually, I'll offer you a choice. The Etin looks very angry. The Aotin looks very angry and is raising its massive club to hit Binklebart. What do you do, Ember Tongue?
I shout, "Stop! I'm the one who is here to claim the basin." And I'm going to try and use my Firebrand ability as part of that.
What is the Firebrand? Describe.
Firebrand is the introduce a new idea to the NPC, the possibility that I might be the one that this is being saved for.
Okay. Do you need to roll for it?
Yes. Roll plus charisma plus 2. Is a 9. So 7 to 9. On a 7 to 9, their passion fades after a day or 2.
So they have a passion for the idea that you are here to claim the basin.
Yes.
Okay. So, Frederick says, they're the one that's there to claim the basin. And Edric goes, that doesn't seem very likely. This being a 2-headed monster. So Frederick starts pulling away, and Edric, who has the club in his hand, swings down on Binklebart. Now, obviously, he's pulling away, so it's not going to be a full hit. But can we roll a D10, please? Binklebart, you do the honors.
It's only a 3.
Only a 3. Okay. Take 4 damage. So the Aotin smashes down, but one half of it was pulling away slightly, and therefore, it's a grazing blow rather than the utter smash that it was going to be. And yeah, Binklebart is like clipped on the head and knocked backwards, bleeding quite profusely. Blood is in your eyes, Binklebart. What do you do?
Immediately try and cast invisibility. I take a deep breath
Yep.
and cast invisibility.
Okay. So Binklebart slips out of existence. Hart, what do you do?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's time for me to be a distraction. I'm going to maneuver myself so that I am between the Aeoten and the artifact, and hopefully, if Binklebart manages the role, I will be their only remaining target.
Okay. Was the invisibility okay?
It was. I got an 8, and I'm just trying to decide which. Oh, hang on. Well, I got a 9.
You can
but
draw
it's
unwanted
the same.
attention with your
I-
invisibility
I-
spell.
I think I'm going to go with disturbs the fabric of reality. So I
Okay.
get -1 ongoing to cast a spell until the next time I prepare spells.
Yep. You don't notice anything immediately about the fabric of reality, but like maybe time starts doing some weird things. Maybe you see your entire future occasionally in glimpses. But yeah, we'll see how it escalates. Embertongue, what do you do?
I'm going to dash forward and try and grab the basin.
You dash forward successfully. You get to the basin. You pick it up. The Aeoten is now directed squarely at Hart, I believe, and is taking 2 steps forward and preparing another swipe. What do you do, Hart?
Gonna limber up my dodging shoes.
Okay, you're going to try and dodge. Roll dexterity, defy danger.
Oh, don't fail me now, random dice app. Oh, 9 + 2, 11.
Okay, you successfully avoid the Aeoten. Embertongue, you succeed at like removing the taking the basin. It's got a weight to it, but you are able to carry. What do you do?
Full of dark liquid, right?
Yeah, full of dark liquid.
Can I? I want to empty it, but I'm not sure if I want to stick my hand in it because it's dark and scary.
Oh no, you've got it. Must be flammable.
Must it? Because in the vision, it drained away.
It drained away as you were, as a hand with fire was opening above it.
I'm going to try and... I'm making an assumption. It's like a sink. The water isn't draining, so there's probably something blocking it. I don't want to put my hand in, so I'm going to like try and knock the plug up.
Okay.
Try and get the liquid to drain.
Okay.
Is there anything on the bottom of it? Like, is there...
there is like it goes like that, so you can't necessarily. Yeah, there is a hole in the bottom. Okay, do you put your hand into the vessel?
Oh, it seems like a terrible idea, but yes. No.
Okay.
No, I need.
No?
Wait, do I need the horn in order to do it?
I
put my
blew
hand-
the horn, so we fulfilled that section in
Yep.
theory.
I put my hand in it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's go for it. You
And
don't
what's
get
the
visions
aim?
from God every day.
Are you trying to unleash it?
Yes.
Okay. You do so, and time gets really weird. The Aeoten is like hitting in fast motion and then in slow motion, and then finally, like time freezes entirely. The Aeoten has its club like inches from Hart's head. Hart is frozen too, as is Binklebart, a giant flaming salamander with eyes white as hot coals appears before you. Maybe they've always been there. And says, to bring an eternal light to the world and become a god, 3 sacrifices must be made. The unbounded vessel, and the god indicates Binklebart. The voice of the mock king, and they indicate heart. And the things that tie them to you. Sever your bonds and be granted the power to become the one who brings light and speaks in fire. Ember Tongue. Do you accept these sacrifices?
But I wanted to take them with me.
That is not how it works. All power can only be gained through sacrifice. That is our core tenet. Do you accept the sacrifice?
So if I accept, then Hart and Binklebart will never see the light.
They will never see the light. They will be sent to the Black Gates. Where all mortals go in the end.
I don't want to leave them.
The god's eyes grow angrier. Are you rejecting the offer of godhood? Are you rejecting the light? The eyes kind of like flicker and darken slightly.
I left my box of perfect light to bring light to the world. If I wanted this just for me, I would have stayed there to begin with. What was the point of all of this if it's only me? They deserve to burn too.
And the eyes of the gods now are black as coals, and its form shifts, and you recognize something that you've seen before. There is a corruptor that you remember from the beginning, one who whispers terrible things and brings about the destruction of man. In rage, the god before you tears itself apart and is no longer a salamander, but is instead a being of flesh and nightmare. But it evaporates before you, for it has failed to convert one more to the darkness, and a shriek is heard. And that is where we will end today's session. So, yes, thank you for playing. This was spectacular.
Thoroughly enjoyable.
What a great wind-up. Amazing.
Yes, that was... that went interestingly differently from what I had expected, but also, yeah, that was great. Thank you for playing. If we have any questions or comments in the chat, feel free to throw them up. But otherwise, I guess I can continue doing our kind of promo. We are telling tales. We do stories like this and other types of stories. So check us out on the socials and follow us.
Both types of stories, country and western.
Yes, there was there was so many good moments. I really liked the gorilla that you guys. I was like, I have no idea what this is going to be.
Is my it's everything I wanted.
Just delighted at how good an aesthetic Pound Shop Discord or Pound Shop Discworld is for all of us. On this channel.
Exactly. Yeah.
Similar to, but legally distinct from in the work.
Legally distinct
Wish.com Discworld.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It is ideal. Oh yeah. So sorrowfully. Also, presumably, you had to explain to his family, like, what happened to his body at some point. Although burned up, I guess. We held an impromptu funeral pyre.
Yeah. I don't even know if I have explained it yet.
Okay, you just were like, they can deal with that. They can work out what happened to poor old Brandon.
Yeah. I'll need to think on whether or not I'm actually gonna explain that at all.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think once the story from the village of he mysteriously disappeared into an orb of darkness and left only his hands behind, word might get the feeling that he's not coming back.
They might get that feeling, but Brandon's a hardy soul.
So tell me this: Did you have a good end on both choices at the end there, or did you really want the ethical, the final hero's rejection?
I had prepared both. I had actually prepared probably a few options for how the ending could go. I was not fully I was like, John might well go for, yep, I am committed to the light as much as possible. And there were ideas about how to do that. I was like, I don't think that Ember Tongue will, because I don't know. Yeah. From a storytelling point of view, I really enjoy the thing of just being like, what are the things that this character seems to care about? Let's put those things in conflict. It's just a fun one. And it was nice that you chose your friends.
Yeah, I mean, everyone deserves to see the inside of a fire at least once.
Yeah. It was just so that they could actually be burned alive by you later.
Yeah.
Well, once we're ready for it, it's worth nothing if it just happens. Like you've got to accept the burning for it to be worth something.
Exactly.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you for the follows from Phoenix Iwaki, Patriotic Mucus, Moo Kid, Chaoclips, and Merc123 himself.
Is that the full name, or is it just you'll go like, oh yeah, that Merc123?
It is the full name.
Okay, very good.
What a great collection of usernames. I love it when we get a lot of follows, because it really is a journey through mimetic juxtaposition.
Oh man, there was some spectacular moments in this. I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Hart tying together that the moment from the beginning to the end. I hope you guys felt appropriately trolled by the opening.
Yes. For reference, behind the scenes, we were being told that there was going to be we were going to be carrying off exactly where we left, and then the absolute bait and switch where we just completely threw that plan out the window. Delightful, well executed. I hate it.
Well, do we have any more questions or comments, or is there anything else that people would like to discuss before we?
We also had a first-time chat, and thank you for joining us from Photostyle, who left us this.
The bed's on the opposite side of the room, allegedly. Yep.
Love a nice non-Euclidean combat zone.
Yeah. Always great. Ideal.
I think that was what I contributed. Which I think might actually be a line you used last time, but I can't remember.
We shall see. I mean, it was the
Hexagon,
same
but they're all
room.
more like hexagon, but they're all wrong angles. Am I right?
But yes.
Yeah, that looks like everything.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for joining us. Be sure to join us again, especially on the Discord. Come along, tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see more of. We've got a great Discord going on with a fantastic, vibrant community. Come and say hi. But
Yeah.
other than that,
yeah, have we got a date for Goblin Quest? Hang on, let me just double
That's
check.
hard questions.
It's at the end of the month, but I can't remember what date it is.
29th? I think it's the 29th.
29th.
29th,
Yeah,
that's right,
29th.
yeah.
29th for Goblin Quest.
yes,
Different
come
crew,
join us.
Just about as much fun.
Yes, if not more. But yes, farewell, everyone. Goodbye.